What up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to talk about these tweets that have resurfaced involving Tyre Nichols and his sentiments about black women, particularly darker skinned black women, right? And of course, these tweets, people are looking at them and making assumptions about how he felt about black women, particularly darker skinned black women, also making assumptions about him and his preferences, dating preferences, based on the photos that are on his Twitter account, as well, based on his Caucasian baby mama, based on his biracial son, based on him being a skateboarder or skater dude. And some black women are like, hey, I'm just going to sit this one out. I'm not really going to be jumping up, hooping and hollering and supporting all loud and in your face like that. And then, there's a group of some other black women and some black men who are saying, hey, it don't matter. We got to support this brother. And I'm really just going to, get into my commentary. And usually I don't name names, but in this particular situation, I'm going to kind of name some names a little bit, I usually don't for a couple of reasons. One reason is because I don't want to come off as if I'm like clout chasing. Also, I don't really want any beef with anyone on YouTube like that. Also, because a lot of times it's more so what people say versus the person who says it, and me just concentrating on reacting and critiquing what they actually say in some cases. But let's get into this. So the YouTuber, and shout out to this YouTuber, Paris Milan, for, putting together her video and doing her research and her due diligence on this situation and informing us about this situation with Tyre Nichols and his, sentiments. And then after Paris Milan posted her video, then the YouTuber Tanya TKO, she posted a video. Well, she did a live stream and she reacted to the tweets. And she also gave a shout out to Paris Milan as well. And then I woke up the following day, which is today. Well, it probably will be today that I'm posting this. And I woke up and a YouTuber who goes by the title The First Dark Skin Activist, Rashida Strober, she posted a live stream addressing this as well. And I'll say that Tanya TKO was more so in line with not supporting, but the YouTuber Rashida Strober, she was more so making the argument that, hey, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he has a biracial son, a non-black baby mama, anti-black or anti-dark skinned woman tweets, colorist tweets. It doesn't matter. And that he didn't deserve what he got. Right? He didn't deserve to go out like that. And I don't think anyone is really making the argument that he really deserved what happened to him. I don't really think people are making that argument. It's more so when it comes to black women, hey, just fall back and let black men take the lead on this. And also to be very selective about who you give your support to, and also doing research on who you give your support to, because sometimes, a lot of times, these dudes have very sketchy passes when it comes to black women, especially darker skinned black women. And I know some people will make the argument that, well, the tweets were about, say, 10 years old, at least, in some cases. not so recent. And the thing is, that is true. But if we flip the script and this was a black woman who had a biracial son or daughter, and who had a white baby daddy, and who had these same tweets, these type of tweets expressing anti-dark skinned man sentiments, or just anti-black man sentiments, but especially anti-dark skinned black man sentiments, I don't think people would be so quick to just brush it off. People would actually be using that to justify her meeting her untimely demise. Basically, it would be, well, that's what she gets. And sometimes black women, like the black male worshiping type of black women, will go through so much or so many like mental gymnastics just to justify supporting. And the crazier thing is, like, a lot of these women who are black male identified, there's a segment. There's a segment of them who have suffered and experienced, very traumatic violence from black men. But sometimes those be like the biggest black male identified black women. It's almost as if the trauma exacerbates the black male identified mentality. And some of those same black male identified women will go ham on other black women who say just, hey, I'm not going to support. I'm going to fall back. I'm going to, let the men take the lead, which should be what black women should be doing. And that is what black men have been requesting of black women, at least in this whole manosphere space for a minute. So how about, just, especially in a situation like this, it's just very easy to give them what they want. But a lot of times these dudes, when these situations come up like this, then all of a sudden, they also expect black women to jump in and advocate and windmill and the uppercut for them. And to get on the bullhorn and start yelling and screaming about justice and no justice, no peace. And the thing is, it's like, why do black men expect black women to advocate for them? Specifically black women. They expect black women to advocate for them. And black men don't really expect other black men, especially other prominent black men, to advocate on their behalf. Like, I don't hear them going to Shaq, Michael Jordan, Kanye West, Jay-Z, etc., demanding that they advocate for them. Yeah, they may say a little bit of something here and there about them and like, a little bit of something, but they ain't going ham on them like that for some reason. And especially black men who constantly, and I mean constantly, blame black women for every single problem in the community. I mean, everything that is terrible is the black woman's fault in these guys' mind. And yes, I did see that debate between, I saw parts of it, a lot of it, between the Angry Bird and Blueberry Brad. And to keep it real, Blueberry Brad had some very good points, some very good rebuttals, and yeah. But considering that these dudes think that black women are just such big screw-ups when it comes to the community, why would they even trust black women, like, to advocate for them? Why would they trust black women with a task like this, such an important task? And also, like, these dudes be coming with a sense of entitlement. not being thankful at all or appreciative, just coming through with your hand out, just feeling entitled to Black women's support. And then oftentimes, not all, but enough Black women do come through and support and advocate. And what did these Black women actually get from their advocacy and activism? What? Let me know. Like, I'm still trying to wonder that. Well, I'm still trying to figure that out. Because even when Black women do come through and stay loyal and think about the bigger picture, once everything is done, it just goes back to normal. It's not like, oh, let's, uplift the Black woman. Let's uplift the Black woman's image, especially the darker skinned Black woman's image. No. And oftentimes you don't even get a thank you. But what about my son? What about my son? Oh. And it's like, yeah, you have Black sons, and that's good. No, some of you do, but some of you just be pretending that you got Black sons. Well, I could have a Black son one day, and I want to be safe for him. And don't even have a Black son and still hooping and hollering about a Black son. But it's like, okay, yeah, what about your Black son? Yes, you have the right to be concerned about your Black son. You do. However, what about your Black daughters? I don't really be hearing folks hooping and hollering about, I got a Black daughter. Even when dudes like R. Kelly be out loose in the community, you don't be hearing about, oh, I got a Black daughter. And some of these women and men have Black daughters. At that point, then the narrative becomes, oh, she knew what she was doing. Oh, they're trying to get a brother caught up in the system. Oh, it's a conspiracy against the Black man. Oh, the Black woman is Al-Qaeda. Oh, the Black woman is Hitler. And then you have some Black women who want to jump up, make sure that they the special one, right? Make sure that it ain't me. It ain't me. I'm a good one. I love my sons. I love my Black kings. I don't act like that. I don't do them things that they do over there. I'm a good one. I'm feminine, fit, and submissive. And shout out to Kevin Samuels. May he rest in peace too. And I wasn't over there when he passed away, bashing him. I was over there fighting against them other Black women who was acting like they wasn't affected, acting like they ain't care. I checked them real quick. You gonna care about Kevin Samuels? Oh, yes, you is. Girl, don't make me slap the spit out your mouth. But you don't really ever hear this. You don't really get this energy directed in favor of Black women when Black women end up in bad situations like Tyre Nichols. You don't really get that. Even if the Black woman was not a swirler. And even sometimes in some cases when the Black woman has a history of activism and advocacy on the behalf of the community, really Black men, but the community, you don't really be getting that. You don't really be getting that energy like that. Why? And then, some folks, like Brooklyn Blue and Cynthia G, who advocate for not birthing Black males. Then it's like, well, when that type of rhetoric comes up, then it's like, well, I want a Black child. And it's like, okay, that's cool that you want a Black child. But for one, what type of community are you bringing this Black child into, whether male or female? That's for one. But also, how about instead of having children with problematic Black men, as if you just can't help it, how about instead you adopt a child who is perhaps caught up in the system? You can adopt a Black child, a darker skin, or Black child, like brown skin or dark skin. Perhaps if you just want to have a Black girl, you can adopt a brown skin or dark skin black girl. But the thing is, I think that the black male identification, the black male worship is so strong that I don't think that they, like, if they birthed a black child or black girl, it's whatever. But they may actually want black sons, which is their right. They can have that right if they want to, but they may just not want to say it. But let me get back to the whole Tyre Nichols thing. I went on a bit of a rant there, so let me get back on topic. I mean, it all sort of relates, but more back on topic. But some people are going to argue that his tweets were from about 10 years ago. And the thing is, like I said, it doesn't matter. It don't matter. Whether it was from 10 days ago, 10 months ago, 10 years ago, whatever. It don't matter. It matters that it was done, or those tweets were expressed. And I will be fair and say that perhaps, his more later tweets that are not so old seem to reflect more so maybe a pro-black stance. But the pro-black agenda is very black male identified. But perhaps, maybe he was, seeing the light and changing his ways. But the thing is, though, you're going to have to speculate on that. There is some speculation involved in that. And some people will argue, well, there's speculation involved in the tweets from 20 years ago, too. And the thing is, it's like, well, perhaps, but I feel like those tweets tell a stronger story than his later tweets. Perhaps. And I can understand some black women just not feeling comfortable with that. And then, Rashida Strober had argued that, we are all kind of like affected by the system. And that's true. But it's like this type of rhetoric only comes up, this type of talk only comes up when it's black men who have done some problematic stuff. Then all of a sudden, we got to have grace. We got to have grace for the black men who participated in this type of stuff. And who continue to participate in this type of stuff. And it wouldn't be so bad if the grace was extended to black women who mess up, who may have not been the best black woman that she could have been. Yeah, I don't really see that, that grace being extended to her. I don't really see people thinking about the bigger picture, how this could potentially affect other black women down the line. No. And then there's the argument, well, what did his tweets have to do with him losing his life? That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Well, the thing is, I think perhaps it may have something to do with him losing his life. Because there is such a thing called God's judgment. All right. And I feel like perhaps maybe God rendered his judgment. And it looks like God has been rendering his judgment on black men for quite a minute now. But that's a story for another day. And then, some people, Tyre, he was a swirler. All right. He dated interracially. And he has a biracial son. I think he may have maybe a full black daughter, maybe, who's older. I'm not sure. But I know for sure that he does have a biracial son. And it's not a crime to have a biracial son or a biracial child. It's not. But y'all saw that photo, though? He was holding his biracial son like Rakifi from The Lion King. And that's great that he is proud of his son, proud to have his biracial son. That's great. But it does make me kind of speculate, well, what are you proud of exactly, though? Because I'm speculating that you're proud that he has some proximity to whiteness. The proximity that Tyre wished that he perhaps had to whiteness in some way. That's why He surrounded himself with white people, his baby mama white, the skater boy dude thing. And I don't really try to, I try not to stereotype and put black people into a box, especially like black men, because it's already enough that we have to deal with, both black men and black women, of course. But, it's already enough that we have to deal with, right? But again, if this was Tyre Nichols' female equivalent, for some reason, I just don't feel that folks would be having the same argument about supporting. And honestly, I feel like some people could argue that, really having a biracial child is like it warrants an on-site death sentence in the black community, at least, or it should. And for black men in particular, not for black women, but it should warrant an on-site death sentence for black men. Because black men should not be pushing an agenda like that. Again, it's an argument for that. I personally probably wouldn't make the argument, but it's an argument for that. But I think honestly at this point, though, is pretty much for black women, it's just, don't trust a black man who has biracial kids. Don't even trust a black man who has kids who are significantly lighter than him, biracial or nah. Don't trust the skater dudes surrounded by white people. Don't trust him or any other black man. Of course, take this all with a grain of salt. All right, take this with a grain of salt. And something else that has come up during the conversations that we've been having about this situation is the Caucasian, the white baby mama. Where is she? I'm not really seeing her in the news advocating for her baby daddy and the father of her son's father. So you don't see the white baby mama. Also, where are the other preferences at? Where are the preferencias? Where are they at? ¿Dónde está la preferencias? Where are the preferences to come out and advocate for Tyre Nichols? Where is that? You're not saying that. You don't see the biracial chicks. You don't see the Latinas, right? You don't see the submissive Asian women coming through. You don't see the Middle Eastern sisters. You don't see the East Indian sisters. You only see the black sisters coming through and advocating for this guy in large numbers. There may be little, specks here and there, but in large numbers, though, something that's like significant. Because those group of women can advocate for things that they want to. Now, the Latinas can advocate for Latina rights, right? For rights for Hispanic folks, rights for Latinos. The Asian women can advocate against Asian hate, right? White women can advocate for women's rights organizations and feminism and all that stuff, right? So where are the preferencias to come through and say, hey, leave our BBC Kangs alone. Our BBC Kangs deserve justice. You don't be seeing that. You don't be seeing that like that. They don't like the BBC that much, and they don't like the dude that's attached to the BBC that much either. Not like that. And honestly, in part, they might just be embarrassed to be seen with you. To be seen with these dudes. I mean, I don't know why they're having kids with them if that's truly the case, but, that might be part of it. They might just be embarrassed about it. Like, they don't want to be on national TV letting their whole community know that, this is the dude that they got with. Because it's a step down for those women to be with those dudes. Unless the dude got like a ton of money, And then the men in her community start to look at her like, what the WTF? Right? And then her value gonna go down. Her, dating market value that, these dudes seem to be obsessed with when it comes to black women, right? It is going to go down because simply being associated with them. But, no preferencias are advocating for him. But I do see his dark-skinned mother advocating for him. I do see other black women, especially darker-skinned black women, advocating for him. And I don't know why, but black women, especially darker-skinned black women, seem to have the bad habit of tasking themselves with these types of duties that no one specifically asked you to do in some cases. And I bring that up because that's going to be the response. When these dudes, when you start talking about, well, we be out there marching and twerking on the front lines for y'all, trying to get y'all justice when this stuff happens. And then they going to be like, who asked you to do that? We ain't asked you to do that. Right? Very disrespectful, ungrateful, and unappreciative. And then I also see people using his black mom to manipulate black women into advocating for Tyre, which I think is foul too. They always try to get at black women in some sort of like manipulative, emotional type of way. They try to trigger black women in some sort of a way to get them to advocate. Because they know without black women, they ain't got ish. They ain't ish without black women. They know that. They don't want to admit that, right? Especially when they go outside in the community. They don't want to admit that they still kind of have to depend on black women, even when they outside in the community, but they do. And then, of course, you got the celebrity fanfare too, like the celebrity support. Because I be seeing these, or I have been seeing, a lot of celebrity support. And celebrity, I can't say that word. But it's like, I'm not sure if black women really be getting all this celebrity support like that. Not even from other black female celebrities. Kelly Rowland. She jumping up and advocating for him. And, Kelly Rowland just constantly a disappointment. Constantly. Even outside of these type of situations, a constant disappointment when it comes to like her music career and what she could have been. Because she actually could have been a big deal in music had she had just went down the whole EDM road, at least for a while, and then changed up her style when she established a core, strong fan audience like other musical acts do. But Kelly Rowland, a beautiful woman, but she strikes me as being somewhat self-sabotaging. And one of those type of dark-skinned women who may low-key think that she is sort of like the exception to the rule. And that, oh, well, it don't really affect me like that. Oh, well, I'm the exception. Oh, I look good. One of those types. Until they get like they wake-up call. But you also have women like Sierra coming through advocating for him, right? And, no shade against Sierra in general. I'm happy that she was able to find a good situation for herself. That black men to this day continue to drag her about for some reason. Then you got Viola Davis, right? She came through and advocated. And you also got like Tony Hawk. He said he's going to be making a big donation. Then you got NLE Choppa, right? Talking about making some sort of a foundation or something. Tyler Perry, Justin Timberlake, Questlove. And I really feel like society in general really likes to have black men in a position like this. They're more comfortable seeing black men in a position like this, being victims of police brutality, versus black men being strong advocates for the black community. It's more comfortable. And it's almost as if it's by design. But I'm going to bring this video to a close. Thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below. Into the next video. Adios and goodbye for now.